Hello to all you saucy lasses and rakish lads. Get ready to rip those bodices and release those flowing locks, because this is Bodice Ripping, the podcast where we rip romance novels and compare them to real-life relationships. I'm Allie, and I'm just drinking water tonight because I have a headache.
Oh.
That's about it. And my co-hosts are...
Right. I'm Rachel, and I'm drinking Moscato out of an actual wine glass because I went to Walmart and bought some.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Getting fancy over here.
It is fancy.
Adulty.
Yeah.
I'm Lauren. I'm drinking orange soda with dragonberry rum.
Ooh. That sounds really good.
That does sound really good.
Dragonberry rum makes everything better.
It does.
True story.
I'm Gina, and I'm drinking vodka with Sierra Mist.
Ooh.
Because that's all I have.
You know. The adulty adults in the room.
Yep. Alright, so, oh, shoot. That's right. I remembered one thing that I wanted to get set up before we started this, and then I failed. We wanted to give a shout-out really quick to... Let's see. I don't remember what her actual YouTube name was. It was Mercury something, I think.
Oh, our YouTube friend?
Yes.
From Turkey?
Yeah.
Hello, YouTube friend from Turkey.
Hello!
I will
We
find
think you're
her name.
neat. You like us. You really like us.
Because she's commented on things.
Yep, I was
Yes.
just trying to find him. Because I'm unprepared. Mercury Queen! That's it.
Yay!
Yes, we just wanted to say hello. We really like your comments. They're very sweet.
They're nice.
Yeah.
And then, also, I just wanted to point out the, two dudes who commented on our last video,
Oh.
who apparently
Uh-oh.
commented only to complain about the fact that there wasn't enough farting. Their comments were, minute of fart, and then, when was the fart? There wasn't
were
any
they looking
farting.
for?
It was
What
just
were
a
they-
funny title.
What were they looking for on YouTube that they found that?
What were they looking for on YouTube that they then watched over an hour of that video?
Well, the video says it's powered by girl farts because
Right.
that was the name of the episode. So I can see
Yeah.
the confusion.
If you're searching for
But you
girl
would
farts,
think after an hour of listening to us go off about this book that would be a clue.
That there aren't any actual farts. You know what? We'll try and work some fart noises into the next few episodes. See if you
Yeah.
can find them.
Apparently we get the most
scavenger
views
hunt.
on videos that name farts in the title because everyone
Oh.
is secretly a small child. That one has 548 views.
what?
Holy what?
Yep, and it's only 2 weeks old, as opposed to, like, the 4th episode, Dragon Actually, which has 12 views. So,
How the fuck?
Oh!
We gotta
put
that's
fart
another
in
thing, is
every
that
title.
Over the past 2 weeks, our Instagram followers has like tripled.
Right, I noticed that. So, hey, shout out to all you new people.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Wow.
Hi, everyone.
I'm gonna embarrass myself so much.
It's okay. Are we getting better at what we're doing? Is this why we're getting people finally?
no, I think it's the
Apparently.
girl farts.
I think it might be the girl farts. Oh.
Sorry for misleading you, viewers.
Yeah.
No farting here.
There might be secret farts.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at least not that you can hear.
Yeah.
So, moving on.
Right.
Gina picked the book this month, right?
Yes.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. Shoot. I forgot about this part. Just
We're
a second.
all so prepared.
I have the back of the book. I could read that much.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
read
you can
that.
read the back of the book.
This is as much of the book as I've read. We'll do this together, everyone. Kingdoms will rise and fall for her. Catalia Fisa lives disguised as a soothsayer in a traveling circus. She is perfectly content, avoiding the danger and destiny the gods and her homicidal mother have saddled her with. That is, until Griffin, an ambitious warlord from the magic-deprived South, fixes her with his steely gaze and upsets her illusion of safety forever. But not if she can help it. Griffin knows Cat is the Kingmaker, the woman who divines the truth through lies. He wants her as a powerful weapon for his newly conquered realm, until he realizes he wants her for much more than her magic. Cat fights him at every turn, but Griffin's fairness, loyalty, and smoldering advances make him hard to resist and leave her wondering if life really does have to be short and lived alone. A Promise of Fire.
Yay. By Amanda Bouchet.
Bouchet.
I think Bouchet.
Bouchet. Bouchet.
Bouchet. Sorry.
Sheet.
We love you.
Okay.
Okay.
Does anyone have a synopsis? I didn't write one. You know what?
Nope.
I should have.
Nope.
I do not. We can try and just like run through it real quick.
Yeah, okay. We'll hit the highlights. So, I actually really like this book. I could not find a lot to make fun of, so this might be boring, but I've got some ideas for discussion, but I really enjoyed it, so. You know what? We've already proven that I'm bad at this.
Do you want someone else to summarize it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay. So there's the main character goes by Cat throughout most of the book. And then it's all from like her point of view and first person point of view, and that was really interesting. Like it never switches off of her to like the other characters, which was nice and less confusing. And then there's also the leading male, who's Griffin, and he has 3 companions with him as well. Carver,
Flynn.
Flynn and Cato.
Flynn and Cato, yeah.
Griffin also goes by Beta Cinta.
Yes. Because that's his, like, royal title or something like that. He's, like, the second in command of the whole realm.
Of Cinta.
Of Cinta. And then there's Tarvis, I think was one of the other realms. Or Tarvin.
I think it's Tarvis.
Tarvis.
Yeah.
And then Fisa.
Fisa.
Or Fissa. I kept pronouncing it Fisa, so I don't really
think
know.
it's Fisa. Sounds nicer.
Yeah, but that's where Cat's from. And Cat is hiding out as a soothsayer in a circus for... She's hiding from her mother, who is just a bitch.
Yeah.
And who is also the current leader, or like ruler of Fisa. And so Cat's hiding out in the circus, and Griffin finds her looking for someone who does magic to help like run the realm. And he finds her and figures out she's what's called the Kingmaker, yeah. I wanted to say Slayer for some reason. I'm like, that's not right.
Nope. Opposite.
So the thing about Griffin is that he doesn't have magic, and he's from a tribe that doesn't have magic, and they took over. They just like murdered everyone in charge, and they took over. But in this world, like everyone who has magic really, really looks down on everyone who doesn't. So he's trying to find people who have magic to be on his side to try to convince this huge population to, not kill him.
Right.
Yeah. Go on.
And Cat has just a ton of magic. Like, she can, if people lie to her, she basically just has searing pain run through her body, and she can figure out what they actually mean. Like, if there's one part in the book where she hears a lie, and then in her head it's just like, this is what the truth is. She can turn invisible, and she can absorb magic. Like, poison, spells, abilities.
Like straight up magic fire.
Yeah, creature magic, I think they call it.
Yeah.
So she's super powerful. So he wants her to come back to Cintas with him to help his sister, who's the actual, like, called the Alpha Cintas. And I can't remember her name.
Igaria?
Igaria? Okay.
Yeah.
And so he basically kind of kidnaps her, and he has, like, this magic rope that he keeps her tied to him with, and she can't break it, and she can't get away. And so they're traveling from the circus to get to Cinta, and they get attacked a bunch. At one point, her mother sends a dragon after them. They have to fight that. I'm just trying to do, like, a quick...
Yeah.
Fight the dragon. They fight, like, a huge army. And then after that whole fight, she kind of... I guess she convinces... Is that when she convinces him to cut the rope, or...
Yeah, it was, like, before the big fight started, she wanted him to untie her, but he wouldn't do it unless she promised never to leave, and promises are, like, unbreakable.
Mm-hmm.
If she breaks a promise, she's just, like, an incapacitating amount of pain until the person she made it with releases her from the vow. So, it was kind of a dick move, but, she promised that she would never leave, he untied her, and then they get in this big battle, and they somehow win.
Yeah, they somehow win, that and against the dragon. And then they eventually make it to Cintas, and she's trying to help them set up, she's trying to teach, like, the family how to be royals, because they're just this tribe that took over. They don't have any of, like, the, court... What
etiquette?
are they called? Yes, court etiquette, thank you.
You're welcome.
So she's teaching them court etiquette and kind of how to run the realm, like, and just like how the other royals and realm people are gonna, like, basically be dicks.
She had previously been held captive in Fisa,
Yes.
and that's how she learned all of this.
Yes.
It's kind of how she grew up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she kind of has all this inside information that she's able to give them, and then they go kind of like the big end part of the book. They're going to set up a healing center, and she has this premonition of Griffin and all of his men getting attacked and, like, the city basically being, like, overrun and everything. So she rushes there and saves them, and then, like, he gets stabbed, and she has to, like, use her life force to save him, which then almost kills her. And it turns into this whole, in order to get her to be alive again, he has to, like, mix their blood. And it, like, slowly starts to, like, renew her life force and bring her back to life, and then that then leads to into, well, it's just any body fluid, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, the end of the book is, all the royal families coming together for, like, the basically the new Cinta leaders, kind of introducing themselves, and this is what we have planned for the realm, and all this kind of political stuff. And she's there to help discern who's lying and help them figure that out. And then she gets stabbed by a woman who's jealous of her relationship with Griffin and almost dies again. That's basically the end of the book, is, like, she gets saved after being stabbed, and then, like, they have sex, and that's it.
Yeah.
Pretty
The
much.
ending wasn't very strong, but...
No, the ending, like, it ended, and I was just kind of like,
That's it.
I don't think she should be doing that right now, but okay.
One important note is that after she almost died to save him at the healing center, he released her from all of her vows.
Yes.
Oh, that's true. Yep.
So she's staying with him now because she wants to, and not she has this, unbreakable, or not unbreakable, but
Binding vow
yeah.
on her. She's there of her own free will because she loves him. Junk.
Junk, yeah.
That's the worst.
Love and junk.
I was I was talking to Tim about this book, and he kept asking if they did it yet, and I'm like, no. I'm like, she's still like a slave, and I don't think they're gonna do it until he releases her. At least I hope not.
Yeah.
And then that's how it happened, so everything was fine. Because I was a little bit worried.
I had very conflicting feelings about the leading guy. Like,
yeah.
he was one of the better ones, but still not great.
I can say I also did like this book a lot, so I bought the second one and I'm about halfway through it. And yeah. And he does have an arc, like he gets better about, you know, not pressing her for her past because it's obviously like traumatic and painful, and
that's good.
He grows as a man, so that's I was happy to see that because I figured there would be some sort of arc, and there was. So
okay, I was gonna say,
holy
that's
shit,
shocking.
I like this guy though. Like, I don't really have a type, but if I had like a type of like fantasy, like leading man, like he's it.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
yeah.
In real life, I would be like, "Oh my god, what a dick! Leave me alone."
Like she was in the beginning of this book.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Throughout the whole book, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then in the back of my head, and I'm like, "You want it?" And I'm like, "No, this guy's a dick." And I'm like, "But it's not real. It's fine."
Yeah.
And I also have a huge thing for Kylo Ren.
Oh.
So, and he reminded me of Kylo Ren. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, you like him because you think he looks like tan Adam Driver, don't you?
They do kind of describe him that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, that's what I really liked, is that I think most of the people in this book were not white.
Mm-hmm.
They're always described as being like really like tan and dark skinned.
Okay, here's his description. Like, I read this and I was just in love. Okay. Intelligent brow, strong jaw, wide mouth, hawkish nose, black hair brushes a corded neck atop broad shoulders that have no doubt been swinging a sword since before he could walk.
Yeah.
And, like, in my head it's just, like, building this picture, and it's Kylo Ren, and, oh my god, Kylo Ren's a huge dick, but I can't help it.
I really like that they describe him as having gray eyes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that was nice.
most of the time it's like they're always like just like dark and like almost black eyes, and this was like gray eyes, and I'm just kind of picturing like that like really light blue kind of gray eyes.
Pretty.
Yeah, pretty. Exactly.
Yeah.
And he'd get all like, you know, the thing I like, and his eye was...
Oh boy!
Flustered just thinking about him. Woo!
His eyes would turn stormy, and I'm just like, hot damn!
Ooh, yeah, that's always a
Yes.
good.
I love a good stormy eye.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good to mention too. This is a fantasy book, but it's set in like a Grecian, like an ancient Greece kind of setting. And the Greek gods are a huge part of this book, so Hades,
Yeah.
Poseidon, Zeus, all that, which
Yeah,
is
'cause,
really cool.
You
don't get a lot of-
I really like that they did that, because it's like Poseidon is Kat's like literal
Godfather.
godfather.
Yeah.
Because most of
it's-
her abilities, she went to one of his oracles, and then the oracle gave her these abilities.
To help her.
Yeah, this is not the first book we've read with Greek mythology, but the last one was awful.
This is the first one that did it well.
And this is like
Yeah.
an actual like high fantasy kind of setting too, which I thought was it's a little more
Yeah,
creative
there's-
than some of the other ones out there.
I would recommend this book to people who are looking for like a good fantasy book with strong romance themes. The other ones, it's just there is no point reading them unless you're in it for the romance. But this one actually stands really well on its own, I thought.
Yeah, it didn't really, like, so I know what was the very first book we read where it didn't really have any sex, and it was like the slow burn one. When I started reading this one, I was like, okay, well, it kind of sounds like it's going to be the same thing, but it didn't really bother me because the plot was like actually interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't just sitting there waiting for the sex to start happening. And it does
Yeah.
eventually, but it
Yeah.
just takes a little bit.
yeah, there's an actual plot to carry it. Kat's relationships with the other characters in the book were
Yeah,
also
I really like that.
were also really, really enjoyable. Her relationship with they're called Beta Team, are the other three guys. Carver, who is Griffin's younger brother. I think younger brother, one of them. And then I almost said Flato and Kin, Kato and Flynn. They have this very like brotherly bond with her, and at one point she called them her family, and I like teared up when I read it because it was so wonderful. Because
well, it's just
it was nice. It was nice to read because she's
and
been
I
alone.
loved it because like they'd hit on her, but it was obviously jokingly. Like they were just teasing her, and she would tease them right back, and it was I don't know. It was really nice to see. Just like she had her own relationships with the other people, and like they ended up being really good friends, and Griffin was super jealous, and she just never understood because she's like, what are you even?
Yeah, I liked that he kind of got more jealous about her relationship with other people than she did of like his with other people. There's really only one person that she gets like super pissed about, and it's motherfucking Daphne.
Who fucking
God damn it, Daphne.
Stabs her. Yeah,
is the one who stabs her because she's pissed that Griffin has this new lady and isn't sleeping with her anymore. Which that kind of pissed me off that like the first female they introduce outside of a family member is one to create this tension over a guy.
Yeah, I was like, really? This again?
Like that's her only point in the book is to just be like, I'm pissed that you have Griffin.
Yeah.
And apparently I'm going to kill you over it.
There's the lady from the circus, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Selena.
Yeah.
That's true.
But again, like, Kat refers to her as family.
She's kind of like a mother figure.
I did really like
Griffin's,
Selena, though.
Yeah.
Griffin's sisters, but I guess they're kind of family, too.
Yeah.
No, I didn't like Daphne. But I'm a big fan of, like, varied female characters.
Right.
So I think sometimes you have to have, like, the realistic bad stereotypes if you're gonna have that. Like, they can't all be just, like, these godlike badasses.
Yeah.
Good point.
And it could have used a little more variety, I think, but it didn't really bother me that one was there because there were several other women in the story who were, you know, really cool.
That's true.
Fair point.
Yeah.
I guess I just really didn't like her.
No, I didn't like her either. She was a bitch.
Also, I just want to talk about, like, that bath that they have. Like, sounds like it's just, like, this mini hot pool, and, like, I want one.
Yeah.
It's like, it's my dream to have a bathtub that I can sit in that will cover both my knees and my boobs at the same time.
It's my favorite thing about my house.
You have an awesome bathtub in your guest room.
My bathtub is the worst.
Yeah, mine too.
We'll just have to have a bathtub party. See how many views that gets you
Oh my god.
We'll name this one Bathtub Party. It'll be,
Four girls chilling in a bathtub, 5 feet apart.
Well, we
they're
can't all
only
fit.
partially gay.
We can't all fit shoulders and knees in the bathtub at the same time. It's a tub, not a hot tub.
we can try. Someone might drown.
Yeah,
It'll be
that's
fine.
cool.
No lawsuits at my house. No deaths.
No deaths, no lawsuits.
No dying. No stabbing each other.
Fine.
Ground rules.
But what if Griffin banged one of them, Lauren?
But what if they banged? What if?
There's always Kylo Ren, I guess.
God damn it, now I want to go in a hot tub.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I want to take a bath now.
This episode
Should
will
we do
have a
some
short
highlights?
recess for bath.
Oh yes, we have time.
And bath time.
Bath time break.
We're all going over to Lauren's house because she's got the better bathtub.
Please hold. It will take 0 to 67 minutes until we resume.
Let's do some highlights.
Right.
I can go. I didn't really I just highlighted stuff that was just like, oh, that's weird or that's funny. I don't remember why I highlighted some of these. One of them was the first time that one of the first times he puts his hand on her or touches her. She's like, having Beta Sinta's hand on me is strange and disturbing. I'm repulsed. Definitely repulsed. It's like, girl, no, you're not.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, convincing herself.
Yeah. Trying to be like, oh god, this is disgusting. I don't want him touching me when, she clearly does. It's just her trying to,
Yeah.
Yeah, like you were saying, trying to, convince herself not to, which they never really... And I know that there's other books and that they probably explain it later on in the books, but they never really get into, that prophecy or whatever that keeps being brought up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a big part of the second book.
Okay.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah, but...
I want to know.
I mean,
me too.
I'm only halfway
Well,
through.
I bought the second one, too. So no spoilers.
No spoilers, okay. I can do that.
But yeah, that you'd mentioned, it kind of just keeps getting more and more obvious. I've highlighted some similar things. That's let's see. I need to think about Andromeda, who's her mom. What might come next? What I've gotten myself into with the sentence. And not at all about Griffin's kiss. Not at all. No.
Girl's got it bad.
Whatever irrational part of me craves claiming will have to learn to live without. I don't imagine I'd enjoy bondage much either. So why is a place deep in my belly heating with something that feels suspiciously like interest?
Because it's fun.
Your little bouncing was adorable when you said that.
I definitely highlighted that one too, and that was that was the exact reaction I had. Is it's like, girl, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they did get into spanking a little bit.
There was a lot of talk of spanking, which I don't get spanking. I'm sorry.
Small doses. Just personal.
Well, there was all this stuff with the rope, and she's tied down with this rope for half the book, and then she starts banging, and I'm like, get the rope back out, girl! Jesus! Don't know what you're missing. I hope my mom never watches this.
I know. I know my mom knows we have a podcast where we read romance novels, but she's not internet savvy. I don't think she'll ever find this. Hopefully.
She was listening to it why would she say I'm not internet savvy? I'm really good at the internet.
She knows she's not internet savvy. She's 100% aware, but I love her to death. So it's okay, and I'm honestly glad that my parents are not super internet savvy. Although if either of you are listening, hi Mom and Dad, are you proud of me now?
Thanks for the Christmas card.
Oh man.
You're not the one talking about bondage, to be fair.
No, but I did mention the spanking, so.
True.
You said light spanking.
Light spanking. Not any of the crazy, paddle board, red handprint shit. Just a nice little, just a love tap. Don't knock it till you try it. I'm gonna drink my wine over here. Goodbye. See you later.
And yet the ropes
Oh,
people are
and she's
oddly
gone.
quiet.
The wall is here. I can't go any farther.
turn the camera.
So
Anyway,
The
what were we
way-
talking about?
so when they finally do have
Bondage.
sex,
Right.
the way that like Kat is just so amazed by this dick.
Oh yeah,
Um,
we're good.
Wait, is this like a bad 70s porno moment? Like,
this. So
Oh.
the part that I have
Are you
highlighted
alive there, Gina?
is-
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm okay.
Okay.
Everything's okay. Go on, Allie.
This
I'm
part I
sorry.
have highlighted is I carefully run my hand up and down his thick length, marveling at my discovery.
Mm.
I
It is canon that dick has been discovered before.
yes.
gotta pull the flag out and put a new one in.
I claim
And like,
this
and
in the
they do
name.
mention that like she's never had sex before, but I can't quite possibly imagine that she's never seen a dick before.
Just not a dick as fine as this one.
Apparently, but like I'm sorry, dicks are not that pretty.
They're not really.
They're just kind of weird. Oh wait, hold on. There was another. Oh, I don't know if I highlighted it. I must have forgotten to highlight it. But so, basically, it's the first time they go to have sex, and she takes his pants off, and like she gets like the first good look at his penis, and she just says, "I don't think this is gonna work."
Oh yeah. I
My
think
mom
I
is
had to put.
calling me. That's
Oh
awkward.
shit.
We're just
No,
gonna ignore
Mom.
that.
I do remember that part, and I do remember laughing like crazy.
Yeah.
Because I'd probably do the same in the sight of like a monster dick. Like, no.
How about not?
But then he's just like, "Oh, it'll be fine, trust me," and she just goes along with it, and it's like, "No, I'm sorry. If I see a penis and I'm just like, I don't think this is gonna work. That's where it ends."
Oh goodness. They do make it work.
It does apparently work, yeah.
And I didn't really highlight a lot of the sex because a lot of the sex was actually really well written,
Yeah. Too distracted.
which was nice. I was like,
No time
yeah,
for
this
highlights.
is nice. And it was also all very like consensual, which was great
For the most part, yeah.
part.
Mm-hmm.
Once they got into actual like sex, it was great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
the
was
first,
always
like-
the foreplay stuff that was a little,
Like he
Like-
seemed to be forcing it a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's like still, if she'd like say no, he'd eventually stop, which isn't ideal.
But
But
he-
it's better than just ignoring
Yeah,
it.
like usually, yeah. If she was uncomfortable, he'd be like, "All right."
It usually took her saying no a few times before he would stop, but
Yeah.
But she was like secretly into it, which is something that does bother me a lot about these kinds of things, which cause it's like
Yeah, it's very complicated because
because it does happen.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's like there's I just think there's so many bad the bad things that come from writing about that is like way outweighs the fact that it actually does exist sometimes, because it's more likely that when someone says no, they actually mean it.
Yeah.
right, they're not just playing hard to get. Usually it,
And it's
Yeah,
like
I feel like it's pretty easy to tell when someone is just like teasing
Mhm.
and actually saying no.
right, especially if you talk about it beforehand.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
Consent.
which is cool.
Consent is sexy.
Consent is sexy. Don't do finger guns when you ask for consent.
I always do fingers.
I mean, you can.
Hey.
Hey!
It's like a requirement of being bisexual.
Yeah. I thought about
Um,
that the other day. I'm like, oh, is that why I do finger guns so much? It makes sense now.
Is this how it begins?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
uh,
So
so good.
this was like the one other thing that I had highlighted that like comes up during one of the sex scenes that I read this and like it pissed me off a little bit because at the part that I was reading it, like I was starting to get into it and get a little distracted.
Mm-hmm.
And like distracted to the point where I wasn't thinking about really the characters doing that anymore. And it was Griffin stops and looks up from my damp nipple. Like it's just damp and nipple shouldn't be next to each other.
Together, at last.
At least it's not a moist.
I was just gonna say.
Oh my god!
Like,
So,
would you rather it be a moist nipple?
Guys, let's start a
It's
band.
funny you bring
Damn
that up.
nipples.
Moist
Because when I
nipple.
first read this, I I texted Stephanie, I'm like, here's a real awkward sentence for you. And, I then sent, well, at least it wasn't the word moist. She did not appreciate that.
You know what,
But then
at
the other
least it
part about
wasn't
this,
like-
which this is just me. I know that this is just me and a weird thing I have, but he asks her, like, what do you want? And this is just me, but I really don't like being asked that question. Like, I don't know why, I really can't explain it, but if I get asked that question in the middle of sex, I'm just like, it distracts me too much.
You
I
gotta
like
make
being told what I
decisions.
want.
Ooh.
Yes, exactly. Like, I'm not here to really tell you what I want. Like, I'm that much of a submissive. I don't know.
I haven't thought a lot about that before. I think it's mood. It's mood dependent for me.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I
I
guess,
want to do the
like-
telling, and sometimes I want to be told.
I just don't enjoy it. Like,
Yeah.
I've been asked that question before. I don't usually actually answer. Like,
I want you to
normally
stop
like,
talking about it.
Exactly. I'm just like, I don't want to.
That's a great response.
Like,
Shut up and put
you
out.
really want to like, distract me and make me think right now? Like, I'm enjoying what's happening.
Yeah, just keep doing more of that.
Yes.
We'll see where it goes from there.
I want
That's
ropes,
really all I
right?
had.
Allie, new answer for
Ropes.
you. Ropes.
What?
You just want ropes.
You want ropes.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so something I wanted to talk about was how relatable Kat is.
Oh my god, yes.
I just love her. And it's like, even though I was freaking in love with Griffin from the beginning, it was completely understandable that she didn't like him, which is, I mean, a lot of these we've read, they just, like, dislike each other for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
But, like, this guy kidnapped her, so it was kind of legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that she actually called him out on that kind of stuff, which was refreshing. But yes, go on.
Yeah, and, like, I just loved her sense of humor. Like, let's see, there was one part where, I'm trying to find it, I'm sorry.
You're good.
There's the bondage where I missed it. Okay, so she was, like, in a mood, and she turned herself invisible and went to sit on a rock. And says, Carver ambles over to me and sits on my rock. On me. Get off, I grumble, kicking him. He gets up. So this is your rock? They're all my rocks! Go away! There is also... Okay, so... I'm tied to the warlord atop his huge horse. I stink, and my skin-tight pants are driving me insane.
I highlighted that part also.
Yeah. Mood.
Hard relate to Kat and the leather pants debacle. She was kidnapped wearing these, like, sexy skin-tight leather pants for part of her soothsayer costume or whatever. And she's, like, hot and sweaty because they're tramping across the desert, and all she wants is to get those stupid pants off. I'm like, girl,
Every
same.
Every time they stop to like pee or something, there's just like this paragraph-long description of her trying to get out of the pants. It's beautiful. It's amazing.
Yep, and Kat is also described as being, she's pretty short and she's got the curves, which I hard relate to, and yeah, getting like skinny jeans on and off on a daily basis can be a struggle. So it was nice. It was nice to be like reflected in this world.
Yeah. There was one part where there was this guy that she walked past in the city, and he'd had a spell cast on him to like make him all high.
Oh, the euphoria.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she like hadn't encountered magic in a long time. She's just like, ooh, magic, and she just like touches him and like takes it all. Mm-hmm. So she's just like high because this guy is like twice her size, and she like took all of it. And this is my favorite part of the book, where she's just like running around the city, just like completely loopy. And they go to buy like a towel, and he like picks up, like this kind of dull, like greenish gray one or something, brown, I don't remember. And she's just like, I want that one! It's bright red and 3 times too big! I love it!
Yes, I remember that part. I loved that. I really liked her when she was high. She was just like,
looks
like me.
It's like a kitten on catnip.
Yeah.
It was adorable.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cute. And then she sobers up and she looks at her stupid, like, gaudy red towel and she's like, man.
What have I done? Okay, so here's something that I thought was great, because, so there's this thing with her blood, like, her mother can track her through her blood or something. Mm-hmm. Rachel probably has more information on this, but basically every time she bleeds, she, like, freaks out, and you have to burn, like, everything that came into contact with it, and you have to, like, dilute the blood as much as you can. And she's, like, describing this, and I'm like, girl, what the fuck did you do about your period? And, like, they actually acknowledged it, mm-hmm. which I wasn't expecting. They said it's already challenging enough to get rid of, I blush until even my ears burn, monthly stuff. I got to that part, and I'm like, yeah!
They mentioned periods in a romance
They talked
novel.
about periods!
Yeah, I really like that they kind of acknowledged that part of it, too, because it was honestly, it's something I hadn't even thought of when they're talking about all the blood stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to hear about that stuff. Even though we live with it and suffer with it, it's still nice to hear about it.
Yep.
Right.
And have it be acknowledged.
Yeah. It's just frustrating when everything just ignores that it exists, when for a lot of people it's, like, really disruptive and frustrating.
Right.
I did find one more highlight I had that was them talking about, like, the various... It's just, like, one sentence, and it's just, like, various birth controls of the time.
Right.
There are methods, herbs, sheaths I could pull out.
No. That last one's not great.
How long have those men existed?
They've always been
time,
around.
Lauren, for all time.
No, it'll be fine, I promise.
I'll pull out, it's fine, it's cool.
Don't worry about it.
Because that's what every guy wants, is to get to that point and then quit.
Yeah, have a
Like,
moment
yep,
of
you
conscious
can do that.
thought
Here's
where
a
you
towel.
have to, yeah.
Well, if you just look at their moist nipples, I guess that would be enough of a distraction.
Okay, we're not naming this episode Moist Nipples.
No.
Just
We will get so many views.
or none, because those are two very polarizing words.
Rachel, this is what gets us in the game.
Oh god.
It's called
Nipples,
guerrilla
farts,
marketing.
Farts, nipples. Moist.
Bears, feet,
Bears.
Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica.
Can that just be our new episode description. Parts, nipples, moist.
Bondage.
And then nothing bondage. And then nothing else.
Light spanking.
All the views will be ours.
We should take like a sentence or a phrase from each of the sex scenes from the books and use that as the title. Like I had found the end one.
Which one?
When I shudder beneath him and then he joins me in completion. Like, that would be a good name.
Join me in completion.
And when he makes love to me again, I don't cry at his tenderness, even though I feel like I might.
Aw.
More sexy than that, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the funny part.
Yes.
There were a couple parts that just made me laugh.
This was a very funny book, actually.
Yeah. It was good because it was funny in the right ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Humor in the dialogue and not in, like, terrible situations.
Thunder claps in my ears, and I get the nearly uncontrollable urge to tear off my pants. Can't do that!
I mean, who hasn't had that urge? Just do it. No, don't.
Just do it.
Nike.
Nike. Just take off your pants.
And there was a part where I can't remember exactly what was happening. I think her and Griffin were talking, and like the rest of the guys were like listening from the other room. And there's this line that says, "They make noises that sound suspiciously like man giggles."
Oh. I love that they're specified as man giggles.
Man giggles.
Such a specific noise. I love it.
I really like it that the character that they described majority of the time as being the Adonis was not the guy that she was interested in.
No, she was not interested in him at all.
Right. Was that Flynn or
It was
Kato?
Kato.
That was Kato.
Okay. He was the blonde one, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
always described as being just like this blonde Adonis. And she's just like, yeah, he's kind of annoying.
It's alright, I guess.
I love the part where she like walks into the city with like these 4 just hot guys, and everyone's just like, the fuck, man.
How? Yeah, I love her hot man squad. It's pretty great. What else did we have? This book was too good to make fun of, and now we don't have any content.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about the parts that we liked. Like, we don't have to make fun of it.
That's true. We already went through the small issues that it has.
The mewing like a kitten.
Oh, I forgot about
Thoughts?
that. Thoughts?
Lauren's face.
I think that
What'd
says
you
it
say?
all.
That's a no. That's a no from me.
So apparently, Cat, which I guess properly
Cat.
named,
Yeah.
This is the second cat we've
I was
had,
just
by
gonna
the
say
way.
that.
Yeah.
Popular name, anyway.
when she comes, mews like a kitten.
Oh.
You know what? Been there.
I thought this was gonna be like a request
I'm
from
not
Griffin.
gonna lie.
Not a...
I mean, okay, so
Okay. To each their own, I
Yeah.
guess.
Everybody has their own brand of noise, I guess.
like I get like moaning and everything. I do that, but like I was just picturing her like actually like mew mew.
Right, it's one thing to like purr.
Yes.
Like I can understand like a purring noise, but if you're just like meow, meow.
like it's described.
I mean, it's not exactly like
Yeah.
that. I'm not going to demonstrate, but
I was just in my head. I was like, "What would that sound like? I should make that noise." And then I was like, "No."
But you
couldn't
could,
quite
Rachel.
I
picture
could.
I couldn't quite picture what that noise would be. Like, I'm sure it's different for everyone in their heads, but
I think Rachel has a really good idea for what it sounds like.
I don't want to do it, but I
But
do.
you do.
but you do.
All I heard in my head was a high pitched like. Like that's probably not it.
Unlikely.
Unlikely.
Open for interpretation.
Oh my god, I need to soundproof this door in the future. Lance is gonna be like, the hell was that noise? The fuck? That's like a cat that got its tail stepped on. I don't think we're being very accurate here, guys.
no, I don't think so.
Or we're being too accurate is the problem.
Someone grab a cat.
I mean, I got one, but...
Yeah.
They're outside the door.
Yeah.
I had
I
to
don't
move
wanna-
a box in front of the door so that they'd stop trying to, like, get at the door. Cat trap.
Cats do that.
Box.
Cat trap. Oh. Slight tears.
So, Rachel, what was your favorite part?
I just loved the part about the pants, man. The whole leather pants ordeal. And the part where she called them family and I cried. That was nice. I was in the bathtub and I was like, they're her family! It was nice. I like feeling emotions. It's good. It's healthy. I may have been PMSing at the time.
I'm just imagining you sitting in the bathroom with like a glass of wine crying. This is healthy!
You know, not far off. That's how I spend my nights. Just kidding.
Some nights you do a podcast.
Some nights I do a podcast, also with wine. Oh,
Allie, what was your favorite part?
There were a few, like, really any parts where she's just being sassy were my favorite. Like,
right.
I love a sassy woman. Yeah, I don't know. Like, when she's, like, bantering with, like, the beta team and everything, I really liked that she was just kind of, like, not this delicate, frail, like, woman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like she had her own personality.
Yeah.
It's not like things just happened to her. Like, she was a person.
Right.
I like that.
That was probably the biggest difference with this book compared to the other ones, is a lot of those books are...
So, like, the
cardboard
first actual
women.
strong female character.
Yeah, because I think the book is female-centric, with a female-driven narrative, which is wonderful. All the rest of the books are male-driven, and the women are just kind of there to be there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
It makes a huge difference in enjoying a book, I think.
Yeah.
So that was also my favorite part.
I'm gonna say my favorite part was everything with Beta Cinta, because he's my bae. And also
What would
the...
Kylo say to that?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope good, thanks. I don't know. Anyway. And the drug-fueled, just...
Yeah, I did really like that scene.
That was my favorite.
That's good. Anything else we want to talk about?
I I'm trying to see if I have anything, like, highlights that I missed.
Right.
I did have one more highlight. It was the raw, almost desperate sound that rises in his throat makes me feel powerful in a way that has nothing to do with magic or knives or knowledge. And I just thought that was interesting because it's like sexual power, which is an interesting concept to me because like it exists, like it's a thing, you know, like I feel like there's power in like making people feel that way, but it's just completely different from anything else. I don't know. I don't have much to say about it. I just highlighted that because it stood out to me.
It is an interesting concept. Again, not something that's usually female-centric.
Yeah.
Usually it's the dude bringing the pleasure, but it's, role reversal, which is kind of nice. Although they did that for each other, I noticed too, was another nice thing about the sex in this book was there was like a give and take. It wasn't just all one person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm doing this hand motion, but given. Yeah. It was nice. It was a real partnership, like a realistic relationship kind of thing, which was nice. They had issues and they worked on them. They called each other out on their shit and their problems. It was nice. They felt fleshed out. So good job, Amanda Bouchet.
Yeah, I'm excited for the next one.
Yes. I want to finish the next one, and I believe there's a third one, and I think I don't know if that's the last one or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the shortest amount of books in a series.
Well, I think this is the first one we've read that's like actually like a narrative series.
Right.
I think the other series we've read have been like self-contained books in the same like
world.
Yeah.
Family usually. Usually it's brothers. Why is it always brothers?
That's weird.
I don't get it. But yeah, Breath of Fire I think is the second one. And then Heart on Fire is the third one.
Oh, okay.
So if anybody else is interested, it's called the Kingmaker Chronicles is the whole like overarching name of the series. This came out in 2016.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty recent.
That might explain why it's rather good.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't come out in 2002.
When apparently the internet was a new concept.
Right. Was that like hotdemonslayers.net or something? the internet address.
It was a real website.
Yeah. Totally real. Okay. This might be an extra short episode, everybody. It was a good book. Go read it if you're into like cool fantasy and romance.
Yeah.
And characters.
I mean, if you don't like one or the other, you're probably not going to like it. But if you like one and are okay with the other, or like both, definitely do it.
Yep.
Highly
And
recommend.
It was like a relatively high fantasy too. Like there was a lot of magic.
Right. Which is my jam.
Oh, there was. Okay, so fun fact.
Oh, yes.
She is friends. One of the people in the circus, Selena. I think it's Selena. Is dating Hades.
Yes.
And so Cerberus like sometimes hangs around and they're just like buddies. And Selena gives her this little figurine of Cerberus. And she's like, well, what's it do? And she's like, it's from Hades. And she's like, but what's it do? And she's like, I don't know.
You'll know when you need it. Like, okay.
And she's fighting the dragon and she's like about to die. And some god, I can't even remember which one, says something, and she's just like, oh yeah, a little Cerberus thing. And she like chucks at the dragon's head, and then Cerberus just like appears and just destroys this dragon. It was freaking badass. And so afterwards, she's like, explaining what happened. It says Carver frowns. How did you have Cerberus? Hades. Oh, you know.
Oh, you know.
God
this
stuff.
this is after she jumped from the back of the dragon and like she's like went to jump into a lake because she knows the fall. Like she's so high up, she knows the fall will kill her. And then her mom won't have her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
she was afraid of like going home getting tortured, so she's like, yeah, I'm jumping.
Yeah.
Yep. And this is after the guys see this hand of water reach up and grab her, and then pull her down.
Yep.
Like saving her from the fall,
Yeah. Poseidon.
which was Poseidon.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there was another funny part with that where she comes, like, you know, crawling up the shore after this whole Cerberus and the dragon thing or whatever, and Griffin was like, water, hand, dragon, Cerberus? And he was just like, she was just like, you know. It's fine.
You
Don't
know God
my
stuff.
reaction to just what?
It's like, what have I gotten myself into with this lady? But yeah, she has all 3 of the main trio of Greek gods, I think, in her corner. Poseidon, obviously, and then Hades. And then at the end of the book, it's kind of revealed that she's one of the last descendants of, like, Zeus's line or something.
Yeah.
There was a whole thing, I don't remember. But, it was like Zeus had 3 children, and then those children formed the 3 realms, so Synta, Tarvis, and Phisa, so she's like the last living, like, actual god relative of Zeus or something, besides her mom and her siblings, so yeah, I thought that was cool. She's gonna fuck some shit up, yo. She's got some powerful dads in her corner. So yeah, if you're into Greek mythology, read this book.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's pretty cool. Okay, do we want to move on to the book we're reading for next episode, which was Lauren's pick?
Sure.
Unless-
Oh, and you gotta read this one.
Yeah.
You can't just make us do it.
I went for short. I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad, but I went for short, since I have trouble finishing books. This book is book 1 of Tales of Shireen, and it is called Rees, R-E-E-S. And I was pretty much sold when I read the description.
Awesome.
Shireen, males created for the pleasure of women. They come in 3 levels. Level 1, sensuality. Level 2, fun and games. Level 3, dark and dangerous pleasures. The Shireen were made to be all things to women, to live, to please, and to have no emotions, not anger, jealousy, joy, or love. Lady Talon has never seen a Shireen, but she's read the diary of a woman who long ago spent 2 glorious weeks with one. Intrigued, Lady Talon, studying to be a celibate, decides to find a Shireen and have one heady taste of carnality before she takes the robes and shuts herself from the world.
I don't think that's how that works.
I think so. I mean, you know, it doesn't count to something.
You get one. Everybody gets one.
Should be good discussion.
So
Looking
yeah,
forward
it
to
is by Allison James, which is a pseudonym of New York Times bestselling author Jennifer Ashley and award-winning author Ashley Gardner. Paranormal romance, urban fantasy, erotic fiction. Or erotic romance. So,
Not fiction.
well,
Got it.
Totally real.
this is an accurate story based in fact. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't know if it's actually been printed. But since they were pretty established authors, I figured, and it's part of a series of 7 books. So it's
Wow.
not super new. Yeah, there's Reese, Ryo, Aiden, and Kai. A whole bunch of them.
Oh, the dudes' names, I guess.
Yeah. So,
The man robots.
well, they're people-ish. They just don't have emotions, and they're designed for sex.
So the man robot.
The human robot sex men.
The sex bots. They're like the fembots in Austin Powers, but opposite, and also with maybe not guns in their titties.
Not their titties.
Warning, contains many scenes of
Oh, no.
searing fun and a warm-hearted romance.
Warm.
I bet.
I am excited.
I can't wait to see this warm-hearted romance with one half of people that can't feel emotion.
They can
I'm
feel
betting it's gonna be
emotion,
something
just
like
not
this
anger or jealousy or...
He's gonna learn to love Gina.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Ohana means family.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, not sure if it'll be an improvement, but it'll be
It'll be short.
something.
It'll be something. Awesome.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The last book I picked up was good.
Dragon, actually? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I
And
enjoyed
that one started as a joke.
That's
so-
true.
Noticing a trend. Dragons equal good. This one had dragons. That one had dragons. Yeah. Okay.
Dragons make everything better. And on that note.
Yep. Alright. So, you can listen to other episodes of this podcast as well as rate and subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, CastBox, and Spotify. We also post a video recording of the episode to our YouTube channel, Bodice Ripping. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Bodice Ripping or Bodice Ripping Podcast for announcements on books, new episodes, other news, t-shirts, things like that. Thanks for joining us, and here's to a ripping good time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.